Hello students, this is your economics teacher Ayana. I hope you are well and utilizing the time wisely.
In the previous class, you learned about chapter 3, production analysis. Today, you are going to learn about chapter 4, cost and revenue analysis. First, we will discuss meaning of cost analysis, cost concept and short-run cost curves. Students, watch this video very carefully till the end. Fine. Let us enter into the chapter 4, cost and revenue analysis. First, you are going to learn about meaning of cost analysis. Students, take the page number 80. Introduction. Cost and revenue analysis refers to examining the cost of production and sales revenue of your production unit or firms under various conditions. The objectives of a firm is to earn profit and not to make losses. However, a firm profits or loss is primarily determined by its cost and revenue. In simple terms, profits or loss is defined as the differences between total revenue and total cost. That is, profit or loss is equal to total revenue minus total cost. As cost and revenue are very important to decide the production behavior of a firm and its supply behavior in the market, it is necessary to understand the cost and revenue concept. First, cost analysis. Cost refers to the total expenses incurred in the production of a commodity. Cost analysis refers to the study of behavior of a cost in relation to one or more production criteria, namely size of output, scale of production, price of factors and other economic variables. The term cost production means expenses incurred in the production of a commodity. This refers to the total amount of money spent on the production of a commodity. The determinants of cost production are the size of plant, the level of production, the nature of technology used, the quantity of inputs used, managerial and labor efficiency. Thus, the cost of production of a commodity is the aggregate of prices paid for the factors of production used in producing a commodity. The cost function expressed a functional relationship between cost and output that determine it. Symbolically, the cost function is C is equal to F of Q, where C is equal to cost, Q is equal to output. Cost function are derived function because they are derived from production functions. We shall discuss the basic cost concept and their behavior below. Second, you are going to learn about cost concept. First, money cost. Production cost expressed in money terms is called as money cost. In other words, it is the total money expenses incurred by a firm in producing a commodity. Money cost or nominal cost is the total money expenses incurred by a firm in producing a commodity. It includes cost of raw materials, wages and salaries of labor, expenditure on machinery and capital equipment, depreciations of machinery, buildings and such other capital goods, interest on capital, other expenses like advertisement, insurance premium and taxes, normal profit of the entrepreneur. These costs are considered as output of pocket expenses. Money costs are also called as prime cost or direct cost or nominal cost or accounting cost or explicit cost or out of pocket cost, switching to contest. Second, real cost. Real cost is a subjective concept. It expresses the pain and sacrifice involved in producing a commodity, the money paid for securing the factors of production in money cost, whereas the efforts and sacrifice made by the capitalist to save and invest by the workers in foregoing leisure and by the landlords constitute real cost. Here, real cost refers to the payment made to the compensate to efforts and sacrifice all of the factors owned for their services in production. It includes the efforts and sacrifice of the landlords in the use of land, capitalists to save and invest, and workers in foregoing leisure. Adam Smith regarded pain and sacrifice of the labor as real cost of production. Third, explicit cost. Accounting cost or explicit cost are the payments made by the entrepreneur to the suppliers of various productive factors. The accounting costs are only those costs which are directly paid out or accounted for by the producer. In other words, payment made to the other for the purpose of factors of production is known as explicit cost. It refers to the actual expenditure of the firm to purchase or hire the inputs the firm needed. Explicit cost includes wages, payments for raw material, rent for buildings, interest for capital invested, expenditure on transport and advertisement, other expenses like license fee, depreciation and insurance charges, etc. It is also called accounting cost or out of a packet cost or money cost. Fourth, implicit cost. The economic cost includes not only the explicit cost but also the implicit cost. The money rewards for the own services of the entrepreneur and the factors owned by himself and employed in production are known as implicit cost or imputed cost. The normal returns on money capital invested by the entrepreneur, the wages or salaries for his own services, and rent of the land and buildings belonging to him and used in production constitute implicit cost. In other words, payment made to the use of resources that the firm already owns is known as implicit cost. In simple terms, implicit cost refers to the imputed cost of a firm's self-owned and self-employed resources. A firm or producer may use his own land, buildings, machinery, car and other factors in the process of production. These costs are not recorded under normal accounting practices as no cash payments takes place. However, the value of the own service are imputed and considered for preparing the profit and loss accounts. Implicit cost is also called as imputed cost or book cost. Next, economic cost. It refers to all payments made to the resources owned and purchased or hired by the firm in order to ensure their regular supply to the process of production. It is the summation of explicit cost and implicit cost. Economic cost is relevant to calculate the normal profit and thereby the economic profit of the firm. Next, social cost. It refers to the total cost borne by the society due to the productions of a commodity. Alfred Marshall defines the term social cost to represent the efforts of and sacrifice undergone by the various members of the society in producing a commodity. Social cost is the cost that is not borne by the firm but incurred by others in the society. In short, social costs are those costs which are not borne by the producing firm but are incurred by others in society. For example, when an oil refinery discharges its waste in the river causing water pollution, such a pollution results in tremendous health hazards which involve cost to the society as a whole. Next, opportunity cost. The opportunity cost of any good is the next best alternative good that is sacrificed. Here, it is refers to the cost of next best alternative uses. In other words, it is the value of the next best alternative forgone. For example, a farmer can cultivate both paddy and sugarcane in a farm land. If he cultivates paddy, the opportunity cost of paddy output is the amount of sugarcane output given up. Opportunity cost is also called as alternative cost or transfer cost. Next, sunk cost. A cost incurred in the past and cannot be recovered in future is called as sunk cost. This is historical but irrelevant for future business decisions. It is called as sunk because they are unalterable, unrecoverable, and if once invested, it should be treated as trodden or disappeared. For example, if a firm purchases a specialist equipment designed for a special plant, the expenditure on these equipments is a sunk cost because it has no alternative use and its opportunity cost is zero. Sunk cost is also called as retrospective cost. Next, floating cost. It refers to all expenses that are directly associated with business activities but not with asset creation. It does not include the purchase of raw material as it is part of current asset. It includes payments like wages to workers, transportation charges, fee for power and administration. Floating cost is necessary to run the day-to-day business of a firm. Next, prime cost. All costs that vary with output together with the cost of administration are known as prime cost. In short, prime cost is equal to variable cost plus cost of administration. Next, fixed cost. Fixed costs are those which are independent of output, that is, they do not with changes in output. These costs are a fixed amount which must be incurred by a firm in the short run, whether the output is small or large. Here, fixed cost does not change with the change in the quantity of output. In other words, expenses on fixed factors remains unchanged irrespective of level of output, whether the output is increased or decreased or even it becomes zero. For example, rent of the factory, watchman wages, permanent worker salary, payment for minimum equipments and machines, insurance premium, deposit for power, license fee, etc. Fixed cost is also called as supplementary cost or overhead cost. Last, variable cost. Variable cost are those costs which are incurred on the employment of variable factors of production whose amount can be altered in the short run. Thus, the total variable cost changes with the level of output. It rises when output expands and falls when output contracts. When output is nil, variable cost becomes zero. Here, these costs vary with the level of output. Examples of variable cost are wage of temporary workers, cost of raw materials, fuel cost, electricity charges, etc. Variable cost is also called as prime cost, special cost and direct cost. Last, you are going to learn about short run cost curves. First, total fixed cost. All payments for the fixed factors of production are known as total fixed cost. A hypothetical total fixed cost is shown in table 4.1 and diagram 4.1. It could be observed that total fixed cost does not change with output. Even when the output is zero, the fixed cost is rupees 1000. Total fixed cost is a horizontal straight line parallel to the x-axis. Next, total variable cost. All payments to the variable factors of production which called as total variable cost. Hypothetical total variable cost is shown in table 4.2 and diagram 4.2. In the diagram, total variable cost is zero. When nothing is produced, all output has increased, total variable cost also increases. Total variable cost curve slopes upward from left to right. Next, total cost curve. The total cost means the sum total of all payments made in the production. It is also called as total cost of production. The total cost is the summation of total fixed cost and total variable cost. It is written symbolically as TC is equal to TFC plus TVC. It is to be noted that the total cost curve is obtained by adding total fixed cost and total variable cost curve vertically. Total fixed cost curve remains parallel to x-axis indicating a straight line. Total variable cost starts from origin and moves upwards as no variable cost is incurred at zero output. When total fixed cost and total variable cost are added, total cost starts from total fixed cost and moves upwards. Total cost curve lies above the total variable cost curve. Total variable cost and total cost curve are the same shapes but beginning points is different. Next, average fixed cost. The average fixed cost is the fixed cost per unit of output. It is obtained by dividing the total fixed cost by the number of units of the commodity produced. Symbolically, AFC is equal to TFC by Q. For example, if total fixed cost is 1000 and the quantity of output is 10, the average fixed cost is rupees 100 obtained by dividing 1000 by 10. Total variable cost is shown in table 4.4 and diagram 4.4. Average fixed cost as output increases as fixed cost remains constant. Average fixed cost is a downward sloping throughout its length, never touching x and y axis. The shape of the average fixed cost curve is a rectangular hyperbola. Next, average variable cost. Average variable cost is the variable cost per unit of output. It is the total variable cost divided by number of units of output produced. AVC is equal to TVC by Q, where AVC is equal to average variable cost, TVC is equal to total variable cost, Q is equal to number of units of output produced. Average variable cost curve is U-shaped. As the output increases, the average variable cost will fall up to normal capacity output due to the operations of increasing returns. But beyond the normal capacity output, the average variable cost will rise due to the operations of diminishing returns. For examples, when the total variable cost is rupees 300 and the quantity produced is rupees 2, the average variable cost is rupees 150. Average variable cost is equal to 300 by 2 is equal to 150. Average variable cost is shown in table 4.5 and diagram 4.5. It is to be noted that average variable cost declines initially and then increases with the increase of output. Average variable cost declines up to a point and moves upwards steeply due to the law of returns. Average variable cost curve is a U-shaped curve. Next, average total cost curve or average cost curve. Average total cost or average cost is simply called average cost, which is the total cost divided by the number of units of output produced. AC is equal to TC by Q, where AC is equal to average cost, TC is equal to total cost, Q is equal to number of units of output produced. Average cost is the sum of average fixed cost and average variable cost, that is, AC is equal to AFC plus AVC. For example, if total cost is rupees 1600 and the quantity of output is rupees 4, the average total cost is 400. ATC is equal to 1600 by 4 is equal to 400. By ATC is derived by adding together average fixed cost and average variable cost at each level of output. ATC is equal to AFC plus AVC. For example, when Q is equal to 2, TFC is equal to 1000, TVC is equal to 300, AFC is equal to 500, AVC is equal to 150, ATC is equal to 650, ATC or AC is shown in table 4.6 and diagram 4.6. It should be noted that ATC curve is a U-shaped curve. Initially, the average total cost declines, reaches a minimum when the plant is operated optimally and rises beyond the optimum output. The U-shape of AC reflects the law of the variable proportion. Next, marginal cost. Marginal cost is defined as the addition made to the total cost by the productions of one additional unit of output. It is the cost of the last single unit produced. It is defined as the change in total cost resulting from producing one extra unit of output. In other words, it is the addition made to the total cost by producing one extra unit of output. Marginal cost is important for deciding whether any additional output can be produced or not. MC is equal to delta C by delta Q, where MC denotes marginal cost, delta C denotes change in this total output, and delta Q denotes change in the total quantity. For example, a firm produced 4 units of output and the total cost is rupees 1600. When the firm produces one more unit of output at the total cost of rupees 1900, the marginal cost is rupees 300. Yeah, that is MC is equal to 1900 minus 1600 is equal to 300. The other method of estimating MC is equal to TCN minus TCN minus 1 or TCN plus 1 minus TCN, where MC denotes marginal cost, TCN denotes total cost of nth item, TCN minus 1 denotes total cost of n minus 1 item, TCN plus 1 denotes total cost of n plus 1th item. The marginal cost curve is U-shaped. The shape of the cost curve is determined by the law of variable proportion. If increasing returns, that is economics of scale, is in operation, the marginal cost curve will be declining, as the cost will be decreasing with the increase in the output. When the diminishing returns, that is diseconomics of scale, are in operation, the marginal cost curve will be increasing as it is in the situation increasing cost. Marginal cost schedule is shown in table 4.7 and the MC curve is shown in diagram 4.7. It is to be noted that marginal cost falls at first due to the more efficient use of variable factors. Marginal cost curve increases after the lowest point and it slopes upward. Marginal cost curve is a U-shaped curve. The slope of TC is MC. Next, the relationship between average cost and marginal cost curve. The relationship between the marginal and average cost is more a mathematical one rather than economics. There is a unique relationship between the AC and the MC curve are shown in diagram 4.8. When average cost is falling, marginal cost lies below AC. When average cost become constant, marginal cost also become equal to it. When average cost starts increasing, marginal cost lies above the AC. Marginal cost curve always cuts AC at its minimum point from below. Next, long run cost curve. In the long run, all factors are variable. Therefore, the firm can change the size of the plant, that is capital equipment, machinery, etc. to meet the changes in demand. A long run average cost curve depicts the functional relationship between output and the long run cost of production. In the long run, all factors of production become variable. The existing size of the firm can be increased in the case of long run. There are neither fixed inputs nor fixed cost in the long run. Long run average cost curve is equal to long run total cost divided by the level of output. Long run average cost curve is equal to long run total cost divided by Q, where LAC denotes long run average cost curve, LTC denotes long run total cost, and Q denotes the total quantity of output. The long run average cost curve is derived from the short run average cost curve. It is the locus of points denoting the least cost curve of producing the corresponding output. The long run average cost curve is called as plant curve or boat shaped curve or planning curve or envelope curve. The long run average cost curve is called planning curve of a firm as it helps in choosing a plant on the decided level of output. The long run average cost curve is called as envelope curve as it supports or envelope a group of short run cost curves in figure 4.9. From the figure, we can understand that the long run average cost curve initially falls with increases in output and after a certain point it rises making a boat shape. That's all for today. We will continue in the next class. Freeze the assignment by clicking the link below.
Yeah.